So a question I'm often asked in EC 309 is why C++? Why is that the language we're using? There are many other good options out there, like Java and Python. Well, here are the main reasons I give. C++ is one of the top 3 most used languages in the world, which means there's a lot of opportunity to apply this knowledge in the workplace. A very practical reason is that C++ is widely used in our senior level coursework. So learning C++ is going to help prepare you for the courses that come next. And C++ is the language of choice for most high performance software. When you look at libraries and code bases and databases that are built for high performance out there in the real world, much of the time they're going to be based on C or C++. And if it's a large code base, it'll be based on C++. Also, C++'s close relationship to C make it the choice for most system software. And it makes it a good choice for us because you've just spent a semester learning C code, and so moving to C++ will not be a huge effort. You can take everything you know about C and pretty much it's correct and useful within the context of C++. And why not Java? Well, Java is a good language to learn, okay? No doubt about it. Both are widely used and often rank in the top 3 most used programming languages. Java really has a solid niche in web programming and any sort of programming for portability because of the way the Java language works. It's very easy to run it on any system and get the same results. So if you need portability or you're doing web programming, Java is probably the right language to use. Also, Java and C++ share a lot of features. Java was invented and developed in a world full of C and C++ programmers, and they wanted it to be easy for them to use. So knowing C and C++ is a very good way to prepare to learn Java. And why not Python? Truthfully, guys, Python is maybe my favorite programming language. I love it. It supports object-oriented programming, and it's very easy to use for advanced data structures. Python is often used as glue code to tie frameworks together, especially in data science and machine learning. And so it's a popular language and it's an important language. But the performance of Python lags behind that of C and C++, which means it's usually not as good for doing things like writing embedded software or operating systems or simulators, which we tend to do a lot in computer engineering. And so it just makes it a less good language to base our curriculum on. However, it's a good language. And if you said, what's one other language? If you ask me what's one other language you should learn while you're a student, I would definitely say learn Python. Okay, and then finally, why not C code? Why not just build up more knowledge in C? Well, the truth is that C is a really small language. And in 209, you pretty much covered it. There's not much more to learn there. Certainly, there's more proficiency for you to gain. But the problem is that C doesn't support object-oriented programming. And object-oriented programming is really seen as an essential skill for the development of larger and more sophisticated software. Not having those concepts built into the C language makes it hard to use for large software projects. C language also has fewer libraries and frameworks, and this means that C coders tend to have to build a lot more code from scratch than C++ programmers have to. And in this world where there's such abundant access to software, you're at a disadvantage if you have to build more from scratch. However, C is certainly the best language for low-level control of hardware. So you're not going to stop using C just because you learn C++. You're just going to learn to tell the difference when you want to use just the C subset versus when you need the full power of the C++ language. Okay, and that's why C++.